switching to football, USA Today did an article where they went through the most underrated players on each NFL team. And it doesn't it feel obvious for the Seahawks?
Yes.
I mean,
Mike and I were joking about it that, before the show, Lefko and I, that he's mentioned so much as being underrated that he's no longer underrated.
He's rated now.
He's rated.
Yeah. How do you get national? Is it Madden ratings? Is that when they feel like they've received respect?
Maybe.
And I don't play Madden, so I don't know what Tyler Lockett's numbers look like or what kind of rating he has in there. But yeah, he's clearly he's, to me, not just the most underrated player on the team. I think he's arguably one of the most underrated players in the entire league, without question.
And if you look at some of these guys, by the way, on the list, and I think we mentioned this yesterday, but DJ Reed.
Yeah.
DJ Reed, who was a corner for the Seahawks, and we're going to get to it here in about 1 second, but when you're the corner opposite a really good player, Sauce Gardner, and you are knocking passes down and making plays, well, I'll just go ahead and say it. The next one, without Tyler Lockett, to me is by far Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson,
he's becoming your guy. He's your Matt Brash. You love him.
Yeah, it's just because the way it's mostly because of his old school toughness, but also on the list, Bob, I don't know, just off the top of your head, I put down Noah Fant. I think Noah Fant is a little bit underrated. He catches lots of passes, man. I think he was their third receiver last year.
What do you think of him after he catches the pass?
I don't think he's very dynamic, but he does find himself wide open.
Yeah.
Remember, he had the stumbling, bumbling, rumbling line down the sidelines in San Diego. Well, it was L.A. actually, but the Chargers. And, so that kind of changed my opinion a little bit. But he had 50 catches last year. The year before that, 68. He led the team in Denver, and he was part of the Russell Wilson trade, of course. So, I think he's in there. And then the other one, Uchenna Nwosu, 9.5 sacks. That was really like his previous high was 5 sacks. And remember, we talked to him. He said, I want to get double digits. Didn't get there. But, I felt like that was kind of a breakout year for him. But yeah, Michael Jackson, I mean, like I said, people, and Pete even said this about, I think at the end of the year, he said about week 8 or week 9 is when quarterbacks started staying away from Tariq Woolen. They're not throwing it over to his side. So where's it going? It's going to the other side. And I thought Michael Jackson did a good job. I saw one report that he had 12 passes broken up, and then another that it was 14. He scored, I think, at least one touchdown. I saw somewhere he scored 2. Do you remember him scoring? I know he got the blocked field goal against San Francisco, which Tariq Woolen.
Too.
Yeah, somewhere I saw something like it, but maybe.
I know you remember the minutia detail, not minutia, but the fine details of games that took place 5 years ago. I don't think he had
to, but he picked it up. He picked up the blocked field goal in San Francisco the first time down there. So yeah, I think I don't know what our genius texter's saying.
I don't know. Well, it's kind of Lockett and everybody else, right? To me, it's not close because of you can talk about Michael Jackson. He hasn't had a ton of time out there on the field to establish, man, this guy is great year in, year out, the way Tyler has. Tyler's year in, year out, fantastic. So his resume is a lot different. They've got some notes here from 2019 through 2022. Lockett ranks 16th in the NFL in targets, so he doesn't get near the targets that the others do. But he's 9th in receptions. He's tied for 6th in touchdowns with Stephon Diggs and A.J. Brown. So, I mean, those are guys you hear about all the time. You hear about the weapons that they are for good reason. They're phenomenal players, but there's Tyler tied with them right there, and he's doing it with much fewer. We were just talking about Stephon Diggs yesterday and looking at his targets and how could the guy be complaining about, not getting involved in the game enough. He's got 154 targets, and, somebody said he was upset about the playoff game they lost, only getting 4 targets. He got targeted 10 times in that game. He had 4 catches. But, you look at the number of targets that Lockett gets, substantially less, yet he's in the thick of it in terms of touchdowns. He's tied. In terms of receptions, he's top 10. Yeah. Just shows how efficient he is, when the ball gets thrown to him. He's catching it.
Yeah. Well, and I told that story about him, about how humble he is and how I shorted him. I told him on the bus, Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I shorted you a couple thousand yards on your total, all-purpose yards, 11,631.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure since he entered the league that he's number one in that category. So
Yeah, he's so underrated.
Yeah.
He's absolutely the poster boy for underrated.